What is up, For Honor brothers and sisters? I hope you guys are all doing well today. And in this video, we're going to be talking about defensive Nobu. In a recent video, I wouldn't say recent video, but it was in my Nobushi guide video, I had a comment recently and they asked me to make a video on defending with Nobu. They're having some issues with some of the heroes with their chain moves. And really about Nobu, you don't want to be overly defensive because it's bad enough she doesn't have an opener to open people up. So you definitely want to take advantage of the mistakes, the offensive mistakes that your opponents make. And that's where Cobra Strike comes into play. And the occasional Sidewinder, you just got to make sure it's a safe move. But ultimately what it is, guys, is based on your reads. You know, it's all about your reads. And the more you understand other heroes, the better your reads are going to be, because you're going to know, okay, what can they chain together that can hurt me and catch me in, or not necessarily in, but catch me when I go into hidden stance. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Oh, can they, because you can get guard broken out of hidden stance. So it's about distance with Nobushi, as I mentioned before, especially in the guide. It's about making sure your distance is right so you can avoid certain moves, and as well as your countering. But it's a nice little balance of offense and defense, and especially countering at the right time. And it can be tough because you got heroes that are into the fray, especially the full guard heroes can be very difficult to deal with, especially somebody that's very good with them, because you can't really do too much as Nobu. They could sit in that full guard, and what can you do? Go hidden stance? As soon as you go hidden stance, guess what you got a warlord doing? They're throwing out the zone unblockable. So that's why your distance matters, because if your distance is good, especially for a warlord that's trying to do that, you can do something like I did here, shoot him with the arrow. But that was a fortunate circumstance, I'll just say that. But I did do a few things in this video, and hopefully you'll see them here and you can take note of them. I went through just a few things that you could do defensively for Hito, Asalato, Warmonger, and a little bit of Shinobi. It's really just the Shinobi zone, because I was using the bots to show you. So just going over the Shinobi zone more than anything. So it's really not too much with Shinobi. But I'll also have just video of me in game, and you can kind of see how I dealt with some situations. Look, I get lit up all the time. You guys are gonna get lit up all the time because it's a read. And if you make the wrong read, you pay for it. You know, other players are good too. You gotta remember that. Other players, they know what they're doing. So if you're not successful with going against a Warmonger and trying what you're seeing here, that's just the read. Sometimes that happens. Because with Warmonger, for instance, I'll just talk about her. You know how she goes into that unblockable? Let's say you think they're going to guard break, instead they're going to feint it. You can throw out a light. You can try to light them out of it, or you can hidden stance it if you think they're not going to go guard break and they're going to go through with it. But you just have to be wary of the follow-up attack, because Warmonger can follow up with a light, or she can follow up with the heavy, and that heavy is uninterruptible. And that's what a lot of Warmongers like to do, especially when you're talking about a Dominion match, because if they do that, they'll just trade. They'll just trade with you. So it's just knowing the other heroes, what they can do. You can't just play Nobu. I guess you could, but you really got to know the other kits as well. So starting with Warmonger, and this one you'll see me working on her Praying Claw mix-up. You can see how I'm trying to block the first attack and then go ahead and do my Cobra Strike to worry about the second attack. And you see how that Cobra Strike, because of my distance, it actually kept me from, even though she held it, you know what I'm saying? I still was able to dodge it because of it. And see how I did that? See the hidden stance? And that's all a read. That's all that is. That's all a read. I was like, okay, I think she's not gonna hold it here. So she's gonna go into the Praying Claw after this light. So let me go ahead and hidden stance it. So that's all it is. It's just a read. Well, there's a wrong way that you can play it. But if you're trying to avoid a certain attack and you get hit, it's okay. It's fine. It's going to happen. Happens to me plenty. So I just want to show you guys just some things that I do as I'm thinking through what the other hero can do to attack what I want to do. But you can't just be defensive. You got to use that Cobra Strike. You can't just empty dodge all the time. Use that Cobra Strike to let him know. Just give him a little something to think about. It's like, okay, oh, he might go or she might go Cobra Strike. So I got to keep that in mind, and I can't just throw this out. So then you'll see them start feigning it. And you just got to make adjustments on the fly. And it's a lot to think about in a fast-paced matchup, especially, you know, if you're in a duel or something like that, or maybe you're trying to hurry up and get a point before you get ganked. You know, it's a lot that's going on. Now with Hito, distance is your friend for sure, because that hyper armor, oh my goodness, you always got to watch out for that. But the good thing about Nobu is her dodge cancels. Her dodge cancels can help her out a lot against Hito. And I'll definitely try to put a few examples. You'll see me going against the bot here and seeing how you can dodge all of Hito's attacks. But it's the guard break. You always got to worry about the guard break. If they're close enough, they can get that. If they're close enough, basically, they can get the guard break. So that's what you got to just read and make sure that you pick apart. Is like, okay, does this person guard break a lot? Or do they like to get to that heavy unblockable and then guard break out of it? You know, because that hyper armor kicks in so quickly. You're going to be in trouble. You definitely be in trouble. But what you see here is just some of the ways that how I went against a Hito. Hito is not the scariest one to go against for me. For some reason, it's Yorm. It's Yorm and those full block. I mean, outside of the full block, because Varangian Guard is tough as well. Because you could hidden stance Varangian Guard and then try to get her with your bleed out of hidden stance. And she goes into that unblockable, or I say unblockable, but she goes into that full guard, and you're in trouble. You're in trouble. So Varangian Guard is pretty tricky to deal with. Kyoshin is another one that's tricky to deal with. Those full guard. Warlord, I would say less tricky because, I mean, he's just been around so long, and I understand his kit. Not that I don't understand Kyoshin and Varangian Guard's kit. I just think they're a little more difficult to deal with. And I think part of that is because of Warlord's bash. Like Kyoshin, he can go light bash, or he can go bash from neutral, where you have Warlord who can bash from neutral. So it's a little easier to kind of try to figure out when he can get you with that. You don't have to worry about that after an attack. And then you'll see Oceloto. So Oceloto, I think the issue with him is his quick light follow-ups. That's really what you have to worry about. So if you can like dodge the zone, you got to watch out for the follow-ups that come after that, whether it's the bash or it's a light, because those lights are pretty quick. And that's where your hidden stance could come into play. But not only your hidden stance, also your dodge recoveries and your delayed attacks. Like delay a Cobra Strike. Don't just throw the Cobra Strike, and that can help you avoid maybe the zone from Oceloto when they go zone. So once again, it's just knowing what is coming back at you or what can come back at you, and then you adjust based off of that. It's all a read, guys. It's just all a read. But I wish you guys tremendous success as you play your Nobus out there. Now, I just wanted to offer up a little and a visual so you can see like some of the things you can get away with and some of you might not think you can get away with. You know, but if you have any questions or you have any thoughts, drop your Nobu dimes in the comment section, because people need to know. We want our Nobus out there to be united. I want every Nobu to really be on the same level. So whatever gems, I said dimes, but you guys, gems, whatever gems you guys have for the Nobushi community, and who knows, it could be other heroes that could watch this and they can understand it, and that's fine, because what does that create? That creates better players, that creates a better community. We can all work together to improve. But that's all I got for this one, y'all. Hope you enjoyed this one. I'll catch y'all on the next one. As always, there's plenty of videos that you guys can tune into, and you tuned into this one, and I really, really appreciate it. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
captured Zone C.